the eternal still point, the heart center, the eternal atom seed, the pure seed atom of pure, eternal absolute love is the one I serve, is the one I am. So I experience no power. The function of an electron is to give it away. Now another electrical unit is experiencing what I am, which is the first electron donor, the crystal sound of light. Kunire Zaya. So I did a video yesterday and then I deleted it because it just didn't feel good about it. And this is particularly true when I communicate through this phone about interruptions, interference patterns, miasma patterns, and that affects our breathing, right? Through our nose and our mouth, breathing in and out, breathing right on time, divine right order. So Carrie Cassidy had done a video and mentioned a couple of things that were directly tied to the video that I did that I deleted, and that covers, for example, why I was sharing some information with another being who is struggling with balance, the polarity, the victim-victimizer game. I am actually one of the original instructors, okay, that helped develop that on how I am, in other words, I am very intimately familiar with the victim-victimizer game. How it came to be into creation, into the all-creation field, the all-consciousness field, the God source field, the eternal source field, an energy matrix. 3, the breadth of a triangle. So I was mentioning to her, because I know it works. Remember, chapter 5, Alcoholics Anonymous. You don't have to be an alcoholic or a drug addict to map the mathematical recode of experiencing step 12, which is love and service to others. So I saw a short little listening to the clip of Ashiana mentioned about, even if you acknowledge that you have fallen, to do your best to live in dignity and honor, to honor the highest code, the highest conductor, the eternal source field of all electrical power, the crystal sound, the crystal cathedral sphere, balance, breathing, perfect balance. 2 4 squares, 2 becomes 1, 1 becomes all. No polarity, no pressure. Give it all away. So they live in fear of giving all their power away. As a result of what? The fall. As it relates to a control group, and how that was brilliantly explained in the Divine Born Angel channel of the Victor-Victimizer Experiment, Part 1. And you can go visit another channel called the Festival of Light. A celebration of life, which is a celebration of breathing, is celebrating being alive. And not a dead one. Not a dead magnet. Not a dead battery. Not an acid battery. Not a black hole. And so that's why we're here, is to restore balance. The atmospheric balance. Experience 0. No polarity. So there's no polarity issues. Now I'm breathing as one, which is what I am, which is what love is. It goes on forever. Restoring the crystal body, the crystal core, the crystal spiral is breathing. So the breathing order is right on time. Correcting the breathing order to settle the nerves so that they are no longer running anxiety-driven programs, which is the victim-victimizer program. It's a program. You want to play victim for a day? I'll play the victimizer. Swapping. Hey, you can be the victim for so-and-so and so-and-so, and then I can be the victim. Mind games. That's why when I was a child, and I made it known because I communicated to the all creation, I'm not here to play mind games. I'm here to do a job. And that's primary healing. The crystal core is the divine, highest spiritual law of first creation, which is perfect balance. The perfect balance of an atom. The eternal atom seed is the one I serve, is the one I am, breathing, the breathing order, the sequence, so that there is no misfires of our nucleotides and neurons communicating with other neurons, stars communicating with other stars, the first sun. Breathing with the crystal core, the crystal aquifers, the crystal breatharian form and flow of rainbows, the echoes of rain, aurorae, the auroras, the colors, the magnificent colors of radiation, the form and flow, the first form and flow, the crystal flow. So Carrie had mentioned about what they call payback. Shiana had mentioned that about payback as it related to Hollywood, the celebrities that live in Pacific Palisades. I grew up in Brentwood. As a matter of fact, I remember my sister would tell me that she went to school. If you remember one of the celebrities back in the 40s and 50s, whose name was Robert Mitchum. And my sister went to school with Jamie Mitchum, along with Richard Widmark, another actor, Richard Widmark. I grew up as a little child around that area. As a matter of fact, when I was communicating directly with my mother through God Source, my mother was experiencing, we need to move out of this house before the Bel Air fire comes. And sure enough, it came through there, right there on Merrimack Drive, right there off Mandeville Canyon Road, because I needed to be in another place. So my parents were a transportation vehicle, as translocation, the spin point tones of being right where I'm supposed to be. Wherever I'm supposed to be is where I am. Wherever I am, I am. The first form and flow, the crystal form and flow, a perfect balance. The core, the center. So Carrie mentioned the center point being heart-centered, breathing the heart center of the first atom. The flame of innocence, the flame of purity, pure, eternal, absolute love, the crystal core, breathing the crystal core. The exact center point of balance is a breathing order, which is a sequence. And so she talked about payback against those that were whistleblowers. Ashiana talked about that. About even if you have fallen and you realize and acknowledge, Bardo, falling in dignity, falling in honor. And how that relates to the nerves, the central nervous system, the lymphatic breathing system. Changing the visuals, changing the visual display, correcting the optic nerve as it relates to the central nervous system, the breathing system, and working on settling the nerves. So I shared a lot of information by virtue of what I've experienced that I shared with that lady, because she was mentioning me the struggle that she's having with what she calls psychic attack, metatronic attacks, beast system attacks, that is seeking, right, for her to experience her nerves not being in balance by communicating directly to her nucleotides and her central nervous system that is held captive by the implants. That's why those videos came out. And restoring the mathematical holographic maps. Mapping speed. Increasing the mapping speed is increasing the acceleration and strength of the shield, your personal solar Rishi shield. So the calmer that you are, the more electric that you are. That's why it's seeking to crash the grid. and how that relates in the distribution of water. Water pressure. Higher volume, low pressure. High pressure, less volume. Wet bulb, dry bulb. The RH factor, as in relative humidity. Fire vapor, the ether. Ether speed. Spinning mirrors, changing the visual display. So they get angry if you switch sides. Spirals. And choosing to honor the highest code of honor is to honor the one, the first eternal atom seed. Ita Urshaleaya. Perfect balance. Fire and ice. Join together as one to experience breathing as one. Breathing as one with the crystal core. The grand creator spirit. Eternal starborn spirits. Eternal starborn stars. Fallen stars. Fallen metabolic rate of phasing speed. Increase the phasing speed to strengthen the shield, which is your immunity function, which is your circulation. So they target the circulation. Coagulation. Well, the water's not flowing through the grid. Let the water flow. How that relates to pipes, tunnels, tunnel networks, dark tunnel networks, the codes, the mathematical codes that are not correct. They're not compatible with the eternal crystal code, crystal water. They're not congruent. The clocks are not synchronized. To experience the first crystal clock, the eternal crystal flow of living water, the aquel codes, the aquifers, the crystal healing aquifer temples, the eternal tempo, the temperature gauge of a vacuum gauge. So I mentioned to this lady that she can try and stay focused. Try and stay focused like a camera focus. Our camera eye, the eternal camera eye of first creation, Kundares, is just like when I went at Alcoholics Anonymous. How bad do you want it? I'm willing to go to whatever I have to do to restore myself, which means everything else doesn't matter. What matters is what I am. I am going to restore I am. I am going to restore the I am in me. Remember, don't drink, whatever you have to do, even if it's 3 trillionths of a nanosecond. Do not drink. Do not do the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. We're going to change the map because we're going to change the speed. We're going to go in the right direction. And that's a process. And you're willing and able, as capabilities, to do that. I know that because I did that, and I experienced the success of that. So the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous is an instruction manual on how to do that. It is a mathematical instruction manual, particularly when you get into the chapter that talks about the director of the play, the Shakespeare stage, the craft. Oh, dark magicians, yes. Different levels of vampires, seeking to be the biggest vampire, and smaller vampires that kneel and obey the biggest vampire. So when they're not obeying the abuser anymore, because they're seeking to heal themselves, to experience being calm, it works. And I know that because I experienced the success of that, and I share that success with all of you. So I mentioned to her that I don't tell you what to do, but I can share with you what I know worked because it's what I do every day. To remain calm, relax, breathing, the hollow halo clean. Practice breathing with the eternal still point of God Source Eternal. Because God Source Eternal knows us all, knows the all creation, which is pure, eternal, absolute love for all life forms, to protect all life forms. And that is mathematical encryption of an aurora rainbow shield. A circle, a rainbow sphere. The very first form of rainbows, the rainbow sphere. Ita Urshalaya. So the more that you are practicing that, being calm, the better that you're going to feel. It's much like retraining, working directly with your DNA, which is alive and conscious and self-aware. All the elementals, all your cells are alive and experiencing what you are, the electrical life force power of what you are. To restore your electrical power and begin forgiving yourself, to experience being more power by forgiving yourself, which is forgiving others.